I haven't done a sit down video in so long. This feels very weird, very awkward, but it's time. As you can guess by the title of today's video, we're talking about your fitness goals in 2024. Let's get encouraged. Are y'all ready? My goal today is to just be very transparent, very honest with you to set you up for success in 2024 with your goals, specifically as it relates to working out, your eating habits, being disciplined and being consistent so that you can reach your fitness goals. And although I am a personal trainer / coach, I'm not trying to sell you anything here. Anything that I talked about today really is just things you can do without a coach, if that makes sense. These are the things that you have in your control to some extent that you can do to make a difference, to make a world of a difference. We're gonna start off by talking about eating healthy. Wait, I lied. No. My notes say we're going to start off by talking about a realistic workout routine. So let's talk about it. I've seen this time and time again. I myself have also done this when I first started my fitness journey, and that is to rush in too quickly. There is no need for you to start off 2024 and go to the gym 6 or 7 days a week. If you are new to working out, or if this is something that you're starting over again for whatever number of time it is, there's no reason why you need to be in the gym 5 or 6 days a week. My first recommendation would be to set a realistic goal, realistic workout routine. And I suggest starting off with 3 days, 4 max, if you're just getting back into the swing of things. More workout days does not necessarily equate to more progress. Build a routine, oh my gosh, that you know you're going to stick to. So again, 3 to 4 days, right? And then pick a type of training that you feel most comfortable with. You don't have to strength train as much as I would want you to. As much as a coach, I want you to lift weight. You don't have to. Just start off by doing whatever is most enjoyable to you, whether that's Pilates, yoga, walking, running, strength training, CrossFit. The list is endless. Whatever you resonate with most, do that. You can actually enjoy being physically active. You can play tennis, you can go do boxing or take up another form of MMA? I don't know, but you can do other type of martial arts and things like that. That's still physical activity, that's still fitness. You don't necessarily have to just go to a gym. Let's also talk about setting a schedule. I think it's so important for us to set a schedule. For me, I have to maneuver my schedule around my clients, but if you have a set schedule every day where you work from 8 a.m. to 5 a.m. and you know that you'll have time in the mornings, go in the mornings. If you know you're an evening person and you don't mind going to the gym in the afternoon, do that. But my thing is, I say to stick to whatever it is and be consistent about that. Make a plan. Take a look at your week at the beginning of the week and see what times, what days work best for you. Plan it out and stick to it, because a lot of times we tend to take fitness as optional, working out as being an optional thing. We should treat it just like we do going to work or going to a doctor's appointment or going to anything else that we prioritize, because at the end of the day, this is our health, this is our fitness, and this has some impact on how long and how well we're able to do certain things. I also encourage you to simply just be more active in your overall daily life. A lot of us work jobs where we sit down a lot, and it's just important to get up throughout the day. Opting for the stairs instead of the escalator when we can, or if that is an option, parking your car a little further away and getting in a few more steps. Listen, I'm telling you, this stuff does not have to be complicated. It really does not. Let's go ahead and move on to building healthy eating habits. Let me just go ahead and put this out here right now. Eating less is not necessarily like the most beneficial. It's going to vary person to person. Like maybe you need to be in a caloric deficit, or maybe you actually need to be eating more. Also, let's talk about counting macros. You do not have to count macros in order to be successful in your fitness journey. However, it is a great guidance. It can give you a lot of insight on how much you're taking in, what your macros are looking like, just give you a bigger and better view of how you're doing nutritionally. Now, I recommend for a lot of my clients, when I start them off, I don't just want them to start tracking immediately when we start. I want you to start making just healthy habits. So let's switch from eating out 5 nights a week to eating out 4 or 3, and other times cooking in the house and opting for things that are maybe a healthier or more nutritionally, having more nutritional value. You don't have to make a switch just like this, and I think sometimes that's where people go wrong. They want to cut out sugar, they want to cut out fried food, they want to cut out salt, chocolate, alcohol, no carbs, and the list goes on, and that's not realistic. Let's be honest with ourselves here. Starting off 2024 and say, I'm not going to eat these 10 things, is setting yourself up for failure. I'm just being honest. We're human. Most of us cannot just cut things off cold turkey. That's just That's just not how a lot of us operate. We don't have the discipline to do that. So instead of saying, I'm not going to have X, 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 and X, instead pick 3 things. Pick 2 things that you want to work on. Okay, I don't want to eat out as much, or I don't want to have, I don't know, because I don't even encourage people to just eliminate things completely unless it's really a health issue. So just opting for other things instead of what you're currently doing. Or I want to only have dessert 3 nights out of the week instead of every single night after my dinner. Those things add up and make a huge difference over time. It's also more likely that you're going to be consistent with those type of things than cutting out 10 different items from your diet that you've been eating for the last 5+ years. That just doesn't set you up for success. I also find it very, very beneficial to find out what foods you may be sensitive to, whether that means going to the doctor to get blood work done and having a true description of each item that affects your body or that your body is sensitive to, or whether that means just paying more attention to your body. How do you feel after you eat certain things? Do you realize every time you eat fried food, your stomach cramps, or every time you have broccoli, you're bloated? Take a look at what things you're eating and then how they affect your body. What things leave you feeling sluggish, what things leave you having the same amount of energy you had before, or what things actually make you feel more energetic or ready to take on the day, if that makes sense. Our body communicates with us in a lot of different ways, and I think a lot of time we ignore those or just put it off as having the itis, or I'm already tired. But what we feed ourselves, whether that's through music, through what we see, through what we hear, what we do, what we eat, also plays a huge part on how our body operates from day to day. And once we can listen to our body and understand what it's telling us, then we can make better decisions and we can actually reach or get closer to our goals. Y'all gonna hate me for this one right here, but prioritize protein. Please, please and thank you. Protein, protein, protein. And I know a lot of people struggle with getting in enough protein throughout their day. I recently did a video on how I'm able to hit 180 grams of protein each and every day. It is possible. And I do it without taking any type of protein supplements. It's all whole foods. It is possible, but you have to be very, very mindful of having protein with each and every meal. And then sometimes even as a snack, the snack can be protein dense. Is the word? Yeah, protein dense. It all comes down, at least in my opinion and what I've noticed and seen, it comes down to planning ahead of time. A lot of times I meal prep, and I know that's not everyone's favorite thing to do, and I get that, and some people don't want to eat the same thing every day, which is fine, but planning ahead can put you ways ahead when it comes to your diet and reaching your goals. Ooh, okay, let's talk about this. Carbs. Let's talk about carbs. Carbohydrates. I am so pro carbs. I eat my carbs. That's one thing I'm gonna do. They give our body fuel. History has shown that we think that carbs are bad. We think that carbs are the enemy and the reason why we're gaining so much fat. Now, I do agree that in the US, we process our food in a way that we should not. However, carbs are not the enemy. And everyone's body is different. So everybody processes or can process carbs differently. With that being said, your results may depend on how sensitive you are to like insulin and things like that, which goes on to blood glucose and then carbs. It's like all tied together. So carbs can have an effect on your body differently from someone else's in a negative or positive way. But carbs as a whole is not bad, and we need carbs. A no carb diet is not sufficient. I'm just being honest. I came here to be transparent with you guys. It's not sustainable. It's never going to be sustainable. And then lastly, when it comes to eating habits, just eating in moderation. Again, do not strip everything away and start 2024 with like that you can't have anything. Please don't do it to yourself. Just make small changes. Just start off by having 3 or 4 things that you want to change when it comes to your eating habits, and let it grow from there. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Now I want to kind of transition into this, I don't even know what to call this area. I'm sorry, I talk a lot with my hands. Let's call it realistic expectations. Please go into 2024 with realistic expectations of your fitness journey, of what you're capable of doing, what you have time to do, what you want to do. Be honest with yourself. If you're not gonna be honest with me, at least be honest with yourself and what you're willing to put in this new year. You 100% get out what you put into this across the board. You cannot outwork a bad diet. It's this many people who can just because of their genetics. Outside of that, you cannot outwork a bad diet. It's going to show up in some facet of your life. Facet? It's going to show up. Moving right along to results, okay? But I want you to be aware of body recomposition. A lot of times this happens, especially if someone is new to fitness. That sounds so weird. If someone is new to working out or haven't worked out in a very long time, it's when your body, the composition changes. So you may end up putting on muscle mass and losing body fat, but then you're not necessarily seeing the results on the scale. And I will talk about this until I am blue in the face. I don't think I could be blue, but anywho. And I'll even post the pictures again just in case you haven't seen it in one of my other hundreds of videos. Body recomposition is so right. Between these two pictures, I was 196 in one and 192 in the other, and my body is completely different. Completely. So as you are starting off 2024 and you're working out and you're looking for results, please don't let the scale be the only thing that you allow to determine whether or not you are making progress. There are a bunch of other ways that you can also measure it. Not saying to not step on the scale completely, but if you're looking for other ways to see if you are making progress, you can also do like an in-body scan where it shows like how much of your body's made up of muscle mass, water percentage, fat, so on and so on, like skeletal, all of that. It breaks everything down so that you can see that along with the weight loss, okay, what things are actually changing. Am I putting on muscle mass? Is my fat going down, or vice versa? It helps to give a better view than just the scale. Obviously, like your clothes, like how do your clothes fit on you? Okay, they may not be looser, but you know, the backside might be filling out a little bit more. You know, like, is there progress being made? Pictures, yes, of course. Take pictures from the front, from the back, from the side. Pictures are also a great indication of progress as well. You can see changes there that you may not be able to see on the scale. Let me not forget one. And measurements, there we go. Make sure that, well, you actually, I'm not a measurer. I'm not even gonna say make sure. Just as another alternative, if you wanted to, you can always measure your waist. You can measure your thighs, you can measure your arms. If you wanna see it in that, out of that lens as well, then you can do that. A lot of people actually see like inches go before they actually see the number on the scale change. So these are alternatives just in case you're not a scale friendly person like myself. Like I prefer not to get on the scale. These are other ways that you can actually see results or see if you are making progress. And the other thing is really just don't do too much. And I've already touched on this, so I'm not gonna go into it a whole bunch, but like even when it comes to drinking water, you hear people say drink a gallon a day. That's a lot of water. Not saying you shouldn't, but don't start off the year by just automatically saying, I'm gonna drink a gallon of water every day when you haven't even been drinking a liter of water a day. That is a huge difference. Work your way up, be gradual, be intentional about working out, eating, drinking your water, sleeping, getting rest, recovery, all of that, and then make small steps every single day. You do not, I'm telling you this from experience, from myself, from seeing clients do it, you do not want to start off the new year by trying to do 10 different things at once. Write a few different things down and stick to those, and as those become habits, then build off of those habits. Please, if you want to set yourself up for success in this new year, just take it step by step. It's okay. We're talking about a long-term journey. If your goal is to drop weight fast and quickly, it's most likely going to return, and this video may not be for you. But if you want to make this long-term and you want to actually see results over time that are sustainable, things that are sustainable, weight loss that is sustainable, then you just want to build off of your habits and not do too much too quickly. Don't be out here doing too much, please. I need to see my notes, y'all. I'm just gonna keep it 100 here. And then lastly, I just want to talk about, I guess, tips for you in the new year in 2024 as you reach and go after and conquer these fitness goals. Just things that can prepare you if you have the finances or if you have the ability to do these things. Obviously, having a trainer is not needed, it's not necessary. I lost weight without a trainer. Did I do it correctly? No, I didn't. There are going to be learning curves along the way and things that you'll have to research on your own if you want to do it by yourself, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I do suggest, if you can and if you have the ability to invest in a coach. Okay, y'all, invest in a coach, trainer, whichever version you want to say. They are different, but for the sake of this video, invest. And don't just pick anyone. Don't pick them because of their following. Don't pick them because of their physique. Pick them based off of their knowledge, the things that they post, whether they're online or not, but the things that they display, their attitude, their client results. If you see them train, does it look correct? You know, things like that. Do they provide knowledge in what they do? Be cautious. It is your job to do your due diligence when it comes to looking for a coach / trainer, that you find one that is actually good. For lack of better words, like, it is your responsibility to do it. Don't just go based off the number of followers. I absolutely get that investing in a coach or trainer is not the cheapest thing. I get that it is truly an investment. And with that being said, not everyone can afford to work with a trainer or with a coach. So I do also suggest purchasing a program from a reliable trainer or coach. You're able to get great results with programs as long as they're built well and they're not just cookie cutter and BS. You can get results with programs. If you don't need the actual accountability of a coach, then I highly recommend a program. Or if financially you can't afford a coach or a trainer right now, I recommend a program. Do not hate me for this one, but meal prep services, they can be expensive, they can be costly. I've done it once before and I was like, no, you know what? I'll actually just sacrifice the time and cook my own meals. But if you have that disposable income, then invest it in a meal prep service, or heck, a chef if you can afford it, then do so. You know, whatever's gonna help you be better prepared to tackle these goals. Now, if you cannot afford or do not want to invest, because I get it, in a meal prep service, then there's always the option to meal prep yourself. Again, I know a lot of people don't like meal prep. They get tired of the same foods, but meal prep doesn't have to be boring. It really does not. It's just up to you to take the time to look up recipes or certain ideas online to see what you would be interested in and cooking those things ahead of time. I'm just being honest, some of the responsibility lies on us, and I think sometimes we want to talk about how much time we don't have or make excuses. Either make excuses or make progress, one or the other. It's really up to you. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I know people say that like eating out is cheaper than buying groceries right now because of inflation. I have to strongly disagree. Every single week, we spend about $140 to $160 between myself and my boyfriend. So what's that? $70 to $80 a person to meal prep for the entire week, compared to going out and eating. You got to tip if you eat in, or if you just go pick something up, is it the healthiest option? Because you're not getting salmon, potatoes, and greens for $5.99. It's not on the menu at McDonald's. So you just gotta weigh out what's really important to you at the end of the day and go based off of that and be honest with yourself. But I am going to go on a rant like normal, so let me just bring it back. My goal intention here was to give you some tips to get you ready, to get you excited for 2024 and your fitness goals. I want to see each and every one of you reach your goals. It's possible. You just have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent with it. I've given out, these are jewels. Like, yes, they just seem like basic information, but it's really not that complicated. And I think that's where it comes in. People want things to be a lot more complicated than it is, especially in fitness. And it's not. It's really not. It can be, but for the general population, it's not that difficult. Take responsibility, take ownership for your health. And yeah, hopefully I'll be doing more sit down videos. I don't know, we'll see. But thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to comment. Let me know what your 2024 fitness goals are down in the comment box. I wanna talk to you guys. Let me know if there's any questions that you have, as well as I am filming a Q&A for fitness very soon, hopefully. But yeah. I'll see you guys next time.